Welcome back, Tim Thiesen Live. This segment of the program is brought to you by the National Federation of Independent Business, the voice of small business. Speaking of small business, my next guest is Stephen McCartha. He's a consultant in Visalia with True Legacy Consulting. He's also involved with the Young Professionals Network in Visalia, and we're going to be talking about that also. Steve, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
So tell us a little bit about your consulting business, and we're going to talk about how you're helping businesses.
Okay, great. So True Legacy Business Consulting was a business consulting firm that was started to focus on the Valley and the small businesses within the Valley, and a lot of people that I was talking through while I was finishing up my degree had difficulties bringing in larger consulting firms from outside the Central Valley because they didn't understand Central Valley issues. Everything from water to, people still do handshakes. Business is still based on handshakes. And so I wanted to create something that was relationship-based and not something that you just spent 2 weeks telling people what to do and then leaving on a jet. So we created a business consulting firm that deals with marketing, strategic planning, analytics, but with a family relationship feel. And so as we fix things, we're going to break things, and we want to go ahead and be there to fix it again.
Okay. In the world of small business, you hit on some key points. A lot of small businesses really stall out because there's a lot of consulting firms out there, and if you go to the higher end, out-of-town folks, out-of-state folks, the cost, you'll never get your benefits back, right? Because you're just not doing the business.
Yeah, it's hard, and like I said, so we wanted to definitely create a firm that understood those, and we have price points that facilitate these businesses. There's a lot of startups. We've had 23 interviews with startup companies over the past 4 to 5 months, and they don't know where to start. And so I believe that that's a great starting point. So where do we start? How do you start up a company? And some of the pitfalls that companies are going to have. And one of those major pitfalls is a failure to plan. About 47% of businesses actually fail to plan and fail to stay a business within a year. Right,
and equals planning to fail.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so even at the 10-year mark, usually only about 71% of businesses will actually fail. So I mean, even coming and setting up, we do a free appointment, 1 hour for people to just come in and pick our brains, and wherever direction you want to go, we set that up so that people have a good feeling and direction and plan on where they're going. We even provide skeleton business plans for people to be able to, put their own direction in, because it's their business, not mine.
Absolutely. And then also we have a lot of businesses that are in that 4 to 5 year, or they've just transitioned now. This is the second or third generation. Absolutely. And the third generation businesses, it's a miracle to see a second generation business survive. The third and fourth generation businesses, and there are some in the Valley here, but they are at great peril in this environment.
Oh, absolutely.
And so why don't we talk a little bit about, because part of the business plan has got to be identifying your market, no matter what your product is.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And I believe that as we're moving forward, as fathers are turning to sons and or daughters wherever they're going with their business direction, their original intent and their original business plan might not be the best for growth. They have to take into consideration the millennial generation. So the baby boomers have done it their way. Generation X is kind of stuck in the middle, and then the millennials are completely doing business a different way, and we can't ignore that. I believe that the Central Valley is slightly behind on technology times, but I believe that that's just because we've done business so long via a handshake. And so moving forward, I want to make sure that with our legacy transitions and our legacy businesses, that we give the younger generation an opportunity to be able to implement what feels comfortable to them, whether it's internet marketing or whether it's social media or Twitter or all these other different avenues. I believe that companies just can't push those to the wayside and completely forget about them altogether.
Yeah, and there's always has to be that happy medium on where you go. The next one is just the general business once you've identified your market. But what are some of the other traps that small businesses fall into that they just never calculated into their equation, such as regulation or time and money spent just staying in compliance.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, I'm even doing work as we speak as far as being able to get federal and state and government contracts for consulting. And so going through that work, you start to begin to realize on how efficient your plan is and how realistic your plan is. I believe that there's a lot of companies that lack the research and lack the knowledge. They have the great ambition, they have great energy, and they have a great direction, great product, but they don't know what to do with it. So usually there's one or two pieces missing in the puzzle, and I believe that that's where a consultant will come into play, or even somebody that can kind of facilitate that without giving up the entire business in the process.
Oh, absolutely, and especially small businesses. I see it occurring all the time. I see it in mine. We're so busy in the day-to-day that you don't have time. We spend all our time working in the business, but we're not working on the business.
Absolutely.
And that's when you need to get some help and get somebody to work on the business, because, especially if you built it, because what happens, myself, I take a lot of pride in what I've built and what I've done, and sometimes that gets in the way of seeing the big picture. So.
Yeah, it's and so we usually or we set up like a neutral third party, and so we're not your partner. We're not there to tell you what to do. We're there to ask you the questions so that you can realize what direction you want to go in. And so we do a lot of listening and a lot of questioning on policies, procedures, direction, growth, from startup to corporations. I mean, we have companies that just started last week, and we have companies that have 100+ employees. And so we treat them differently because they deserve to be treated differently. And yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now we're going to shift gears, and we're going to
All right.
talk about the Young Professionals Network in Visalia. And so let's kind of give us a little bit up to speed. Great group of folks, by the way, folks. I just met them about a month and a half ago. We're working on a project, and then we'll talk about the forum also.
Great. Love it. I love being involved in my community. I'm a part of County Center Rotary. I'm involved in the Chamber of Commerce. And then we were approached by the Chamber of Commerce, myself and July Hong, on implementing a group for young business leaders, for the people that are the millennials that are taking over these companies, or the millennials that are starting their own companies. And we just felt like there was a huge gap, and the chamber felt that too. So they approached us both and said, "Hey, would you mind chairing up a organization that focuses on 21 to 40-year-olds and put together a mission, a vision?" And they basically let us have it, and they've been letting us run with it. So it's been a lot of fun. So the first couple events, we did a rawhide event, which was great for networking. The second event, we actually did kind of a joint. A new restaurant was opening, Pita Kebab in Visalia, and so we joined with them. We had 86 people come out, and I just love the energy of the group. I've been a part of a lot of different organizations and boards, and the energy that's in this group is definitely there. But one of the main things that we do is we take all of the money, so it's a $10 copay usually, and we do have sponsors for these events, and the chamber helps us. And so we take that money, and we have 4 nonprofits every year that will apply, and so the money will actually go towards the nonprofit that everyone votes for, and everyone gets a vote. We're extremely active on Facebook, social media, so we're reaching out to our fellow millennials or Generation X's. But this next event is just absolutely amazing. I'm super excited because we want to start getting the younger generation knowledgeable on what is the State Assembly, what does the State Assembly do, and so I believe it's the 26th?
16th, a week from tomorrow.
Okay, so is it the 26th Assembly?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's October the 16th is the event.
Correct.
And the reason I know all this, folks, is they've asked me to be the moderator for the debate, so it's going to be great in the forum. So anyway, but it's the 26th Assembly District. Central California encompasses a large area. Visalia is at the north end of it. And it's the seat currently held by Minority Leader Connie Conway, but that's an open seat, and so we have 2, and with this jungle primary system that we now have under Prop 14, we have Republican running against Republican in it, so it's going to be exciting.
It is interesting, and so we're setting up basically a debate format like Tim had said. Tim's going to be the moderator. I'm going to MC it. We want youth and pretty much everyone, though, to come out for this event and just become a little bit more knowledgeable. I believe that the youth are scared. We're scared to ask questions because we're expected to know everything. We have Google, right? So we should know everything and how everything works. And so we're a little bit reluctant to ask questions. And so this format's going to kind of put what the state assembly is and put the candidates and see where they stand on issues that matter to us. And so it's just one more push that the YPN is doing to get people involved, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And it's from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Vintage Press in Visalia, California. And then hopefully they'll be posting up. There will be 2 emails. One is my email, and then the other one's going to be for the Visalia Young Professionals Network. And so both of those will be available to you guys. Just shoot us an email saying that you'd like to attend, and we can go ahead and work that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Or contact me, Tim, at centralvalleytalk.com, and we'll get you hooked up. Great event a week from tomorrow on the 16th at the Vintage Press. Great venue, great candidates, and a great group of young people. Steve, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much, Steve.
And we'll be right back after these messages.